Welcome to Cleo's fourth session around our Cleo Web EDI webinar series. Just to start off, we'll do some quick introductions. So today's session is around end-to-end visibility, specifically with 3PL or warehouse transactions. We'll be diving into how the portal can help eliminate gaps in the ASN delivery, invoicing processes, as well as the inventory feeds that some of your partners may require you to transmit over EDI. But my name is Sam Wojcik. I've been with Cleo for 3 years now. I'm a part of our solutions team. So really my role in conversations with prospects and customers is ensuring that the solution that a prospect or customer might be looking for is one that we can deliver in a seamless fashion through a variety of our solutions that are in our product portfolio. But Pat, would you mind doing a quick introduction as well?
Yeah, for those of you I haven't had a chance to meet, I'm Pat Gergen. I'm the director of our customer success team for this Web EDI space. So happy to find time to connect one-on-one afterwards if you'd like to connect and have me learn kind of how I can be assisting with the overall Clio partnership. I've been in this role for about a year, but been with Clio for 4.5 years and really enjoyed my time working with customers like yourselves.
Fantastic. Thanks, Pat.
And just a couple house cleaning or house cleaning, keeping things here. So we are in kind of a broadcast mode, so we can't see you, you can see us, we can't hear you, etc. So if you do have questions, there's a QA on the bottom of the Zoom. Just put your questions in there. I know Sam usually saves some time at the end for any questions. Obviously, we'd love to have this be interactive if there's anything that we can specifically be helping with, from a specific use case scenario. So there also will be a recording of this sent out, and we will share that to you as well.
Awesome.
And then just lastly, before diving in here, if I haven't had the chance to meet, I always like to just share this customer success mission statement. I won't read the last thing here, but the thing that I'm really trying to build out with this team is really just kind of building out our partnerships, long-lasting relationships built on trust, transparency, and growth. So like I said, happy to connect one-on-one afterwards, but I will hand it back over to Sam and let him lead the rest.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pat. So for today's session, we'll be covering 4 different topics. The first topic that we're going to walk through is the catalog or catalog management system that is available out of the box within your portal. Following that, we'll dive into how we can easily create the inventory inquiry or advice document, the EDI 846, directly from the catalog as well. Following that, we'll demonstrate how we can leverage the auto pack feature to help streamline advanced shipment notices or the EDI 856 creation. We'll also touch on how that can work with any 3PL connections or warehouses that you may be doing business with today to help fulfill and ship goods to your end customers. And then lastly, we will cover the creation of the 940 document as that ties into how the portal can support warehouse transactions in your larger 3PL relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and just pause my share here while I switch to the demo environment. Let me get that pulled up really quickly here. So for anybody who is unfamiliar, this is the home screen of the Cleo Web EDI portal. The first area that we're going to be touching on is this catalog tab or the catalog management system. So all of you will have this available within your portal. And right off the bat here, we can see a couple of different options on the left-hand side, as well as this table, which lists a few of the products that we have here in our demo environment, along with some information about those products. So we can see here the product ID or SKU. We can see the brand that it may be associated with, which trading partners this product is available for, quantities, prices, and a few other metrics just around the goods that we've sold. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and add an item, I would just click this Add Item button here. And this gives us a pop-out for all of the item information that we would need to enter here. As you'll see at the bottom, a lot of this information is in relation to carton details, so how these goods would be packed in terms of fulfillment. This information will be leveraged in our auto pack feature. So I just wanted to give a quick glimpse into some of the information that we capture in the catalog. just to give you guys an idea when we get to the ASN, how that information is then created or populated for the auto pack feature. Some other things to note just around building out the catalog. So we do have this import feature that allows you to easily upload an Excel spreadsheet with all of the catalog information that your team will be required to include for the auto pack feature. So if I just go ahead and hit import here, this will give us a little bit of a walkthrough for how we create these Excel spreadsheets or these catalog tables. So the first option is going to be selecting our trading partner. For the sake of this demonstration, I will just choose all of my partners. And then the next section is the part code. So how are we going to be identifying our goods? Commonly, we'll see the vendor's item number as well as the buyer's item number. But if part numbers or specific SKUs need to be included, we do have drop downs for those as well. The next area that we need to select is the weight dimensions. So however we're tracking that weight metric, we'll just need the specific unit of measure there. I'll just select pounds. And then here we would just click to export this spreadsheet. This would give us a skeleton template with all of those fields that would enable a user at your organization to go in and fill in all of the remaining item information. So I've already gotten one of these templates created, so I will just pull this up, but this is what the spreadsheet would look like. So here we can see a variety of different rows, or excuse me, columns. So we have our product ID, the height, the weight, and again, this is all going to be leveraged for the auto pack feature based on how goods are packaged and shipped. And then on the far right here, we have item details. So to give you guys a more in-depth look of what this catalog would look like, this is what the exported version of the existing demo catalog looks like. So if I just jump back here, I'll back out of this. Oops, there's my close. So we can see here that a lot of the information is limited within the portal. But when we export this spreadsheet, that's when we get to see all of the additional packing information. So some of that is going to be hidden. We didn't want to add too much detail to that catalog interface. But when that spreadsheet is exported, this is where any of the dimensions or packing information could be adjusted. But assuming that all of your SKUs and product information has been filled in here with all of the part numbers, qualifiers, etc., then the completed spreadsheet can be re-uploaded directly back to the catalog here. So at the end of this import step, the last option is to import the spreadsheet back. So if I just quickly click through this, assuming that we have our completed spreadsheet, we would then be able to simply upload this information directly back into the catalog to build out. So we would just choose that file, import it back in, and this would build out our catalog feature here. So again, it's a nice way to track all of the products or SKUs that your organization sells. But on top of that, it also makes it easier for ASN fulfillment. I'll save a little bit of time as we'll dive into that here in a second, as well as the inventory inquiry or advice document. So if we wanted to make that EDI 846 or the inventory inquiry document, we could do that directly from the catalog, leveraging all of our existing catalog information. So if any of your customers require this document and it's a bit tedious to make manually, this is a great way to help streamline that process. So I would just select all of my line items here. I would choose new document. I would go down and find the 846. And then in this scenario, I'll choose Amazon. And this will automatically build out that EDI 846 document. Now, our demo environment doesn't have too much information in here, but this will give you an idea around the seamlessness in terms of creating this document, especially if there are a good amount of SKUs in play that need to be conveyed in this document. It can often be a bit time consuming to go through this manually. So we recommend that as soon as you get your portal set up or there's time, maybe when order volumes aren't too high, we highly recommend building out that catalog, especially if the EDI 846 is a document that's required by your customers. Another thing that I want to note just around adding items to the catalog. So as opposed to building out the catalog in the beginning and filling out the spreadsheet with all of that item information, what you can also do is select any inbound order. So if I choose this Walmart order, I can add the items in this order directly to the catalog. So if you have a series of orders in the beginning of your, I guess, go live with the portal, another quick way to help add those SKUs to our catalog is directly through this catalog import items into catalog feature. And then that ties into the ASN creation. So around the ASN creation, there's obviously two options. There is the pick and pack, which is the drag and drop interface to build out item level detail. And I can go ahead and demonstrate that here. Um, so if I go to the FGL Sports here, we can edit packing, and our pick and pack wizard is the drag and drop wizard. But again, for the auto pack feature that will be leveraging our catalog information where we've input all of the item dimensions in terms of how those goods are packed, let me just quickly walk through what that looks like, leveraging our catalog for the advanced shipment notice creation. And again, this is a nice way to help streamline this process, as we often find that this document can be the most time consuming, just in terms of all the information that is required within that document. So again, here we have the pick and pack feature, but if I select auto pack here, the first choice will be carton or pallet. For simplicity, I will choose the pallet here. This is going to take a second to build out the document level detail. So we're going to be leveraging the specific quantities that were in that order. And then based on the quantity within that order, the auto pack feature knows to automatically build out the carton and pallet level detail based on how many items can be packaged together. Um, so this may take a second to load here, given all of the specific palette level information that is required. But what I would recommend, if there are multiple orders and you are able to auto pack them, it would be best to do this in batches. So if we're not getting that advanced shipment notice from a backend system and we are still doing things manually through the startup package, this is a nice way to add some efficiency around a document or a process that may be time consuming today. So this is just taking a second to load. I know I have one pre-built here. So if I just jump back to the drafts folder, um, if we jump down to this advanced ship notice, but again, if we scroll down here, we get all of our item and pack level detail that is created directly from that auto pack feature. So again, it's a great way to add some efficiency, especially in a document that does require a lot of information. And if that drag and drop interface is too time consuming, this is a fantastic way to help add some efficiency. So we highly recommend, again, once you first get started in the portal, assuming you don't have too many SKUs or items that you sell, the catalog feature is a great way to help manage that, as well as add some efficiency around the 856 creation. The last area that I did want to touch on, specifically around our 3PL module, is the ways in which a 940 document can be created. So just for some context, the 940 is the warehouse shipping order. That document is used to convey order information from an end customer to your warehousing or 3PL partner so they know what to go ahead and fulfill and package, so they can go ahead and put that order together and send it off to your end customer. It is very similar to the EDI 850. It just follows a different EDI standard. There's a couple of options for doing this directly within the portal. So the first option would be to select the specific 850 that you want to create into a 940. So by just selecting this box here, and then if I hit right click, I can go over this create response tab and we see the warehouse shipping order here. So just by clicking on this document, I'm able to generate a corresponding 940 for a existing 850 that we received in this scenario from Target. From here, I would just have to enter in the specific warehouse information or my 3PL information so we know how to properly route this document. One thing that we can also do for existing customers, if you have one 3PL that you work with, for example, this information can be pre-populated or even hard-coded. So that way your team doesn't have to refill in the same information for every single EDI 940 that you send to your warehouse. Secondly, we also have the option to automatically create this document if we know that every single 850 for an associated customer is going to be going to our warehouse or 3PL partner for fulfillment. So we do have some options to help add some automation. So as opposed to manually creating this 940, if there is some consistency around who we're going to be sending these warehouse orders to, we can obviously hard code this information or even automate the creation of the 940 and the transmission of the 940 to your 3PL partner. If there are multiple 3PL partners that you work with, there are some rules that we can set up depending on who that end customer is or where that end customer is located. So for example, if we have a 3PL on the East Coast that services our East Coast orders, we can automatically map that to that East Coast warehouse to route those orders to. If for whatever reason we need to manually create this 940 document to convey some information that may not be included in the 850, we always have the option to manually create that document. Just really quickly to demonstrate how that would be done, we just hover over the File tab here. We go to New Document, and if we scroll down, we'll have the EDI 940 all the way at the bottom here. And we would just create this for our target stores trading partner. So there's a couple of different options, whether we want to manually create the document, whether we want to create the document that's tied to an existing order, or even we can also automate the creation of that document and transmission. So something to think about if you do work with an existing 3PL or warehousing partner and are commonly sending them your orders, as a nice way to add some automation there and streamline those 3PL communications. As in many cases, we hear that folks will just use email to convey these orders. But again, as far as we understand, that adds some complexities and time in terms of copying and pasting order information into an email just to send that out to a warehouse partner. The best way to find out if this would be an option with your 3PL or warehousing partner is simply to ask them if they support EDI today. From there, reach out to your Cleo representative. We'd be happy to meet with that warehousing partner to understand which documents they may require and gather their EDI specifications so our team can establish that connection and get those automated flows set up for you. So that's all that we wanted to cover for our demonstration today. I'm going to go ahead and just jump back to our slide deck here. There are a few other areas that we want to talk through just around the 3PL module and how the 3PL module can be leveraged from an automation standpoint. So let me go ahead and pull this up really quickly. Okay, so following our demonstration, we did just want to provide more of an in-depth overview of our 3PL module and how it can be leveraged. So from a high level, our 3PL module will serve to convert the existing EDI orders into those warehousing orders. From there, your 3PL partner will commonly send back what's called the EDI 945. That just conveys the information around that order and what goods have been shipped and when they've shipped them. From there, once that's received back in the WebEDI portal, we can automatically convert that into the EDI 856 or that advanced shipment notice, and then automatically send that out to your end customer. So from the moment you receive an order to communicating with your warehousing partner to getting that advanced shipment notice back and sending it out to your end customer, everything can be hands off. And just to walk you through this process through our diagram, the first step would be receiving that 850 directly within the portal. From there, we convert it to a 940 and send it to your 3PL or warehousing partner. They would ship the goods to your end customer, but they would send back that EDI 945. That would be converted into that advanced ship notice or that EDI 856, which would automatically be sent back to this end customer. So the 3PL module, again, is a great way to add some automation or some efficiencies where there may be manual processes today. And again, if you guys are using email or communicating over the phone, these orders, The best way to find out if EDI is an option is just to communicate with your warehousing team or warehousing partner and understand if they support EDI communications. The last thing that I'll note here, the portal does also support the EDI 943 and 944, and those are just warehouse stock transfers. So if you ever ship goods to a warehouse, you could leverage the EDI 943. When your warehouse receives those goods, they could send back the 944, indicating which goods have been received as more of a confirmation that those goods have arrived on site at that warehouse. So, food for thought again, if you are leveraging a warehouse or some existing 3PL and they handle your fulfillment, we've seen a handful of customers leverage this module as a great way to A, easily add some automation, but B, reduce a lot of risk that may exist today in manually copying and pasting data into an email to transmit that. As in some cases, maybe your warehouse partner loses that email or information is just copy and pasted incorrectly due to human error. So again, the 3PL module or any of your 3PL partners, they can be added directly from the portal. Through our existing traffic light system, we will give you insight into the 940 and 945 send and receive. So you'll have complete visibility into all of those warehouse transactions, just like you would for any existing order. So again, what we really see as the value or the gains out of our 3PL module is the speed and accuracy in conveying those orders. We'll handle everything through your existing portal with automated communication to that warehousing partner. And again, you will have complete end-to-end visibility from the moment that you receive the initial 850 purchase order to when it's transformed into the 940 and the 940 sent to your warehousing partner. Once they fulfill those goods, they send the 945 back. You'll have visibility into that, along with the 856 creation that's then sent to your end customer. So if there is a warehousing partner and your customers require the 856, we highly recommend reaching out to a representative just to explore how this option could add some automation and some efficiency to your current processes. So with that, I know we just have about 5 minutes left. If there are any questions at all, please feel free to throw them in the Q&A section
Yes, and
at
there
the
actually is
bottom.
one. David did post a question there a bit ago.
Perfect. Let me go ahead and find this. So just reading the question out loud here, jumping ahead a little bit, but are there any automations for the 856 besides the auto pack feature? For example, any functionality or feature that allows us to automate putting in tracking numbers or other required fields. Not sure if that is a workflow that WebEDI can support or if that is CIC exclusive. Fantastic question. So there's a couple of different ways that we can go about this. I think the easiest way and more commonly for static fields would be to hard code those fields. So that can be done for any of the documents that you're creating, especially for the 856, where the most amount of information is required back. For tracking numbers, we do have pre-built integrations or connectors to solutions such as UPS World Ship or FedEx. So if you're using any of those parcel carriers to ship goods to distribution centers or end customers in a direct customer fashion, we do have the ability for you to integrate your portal with your UPS World Ship account or FedEx account to easily populate shipping information or tracking numbers directly within that 856 document. If you're working with a warehouse and they are going to be sending back the 945, one thing that we could ask them is just around their EDI specification in their structure, whether they include a field that would allow them to include the tracking number, which we could then include back on the 856 to your end customer. So again, there's a couple of different options depending on what that information is. For any static information, we recommend reaching out to our support team and having them hard code that field for you. If you're leveraging a parcel carrier such as UPS or FedEx, we recommend exploring our pre-built connectors or integration options to those solutions. And then again, if this 856 or 945 is coming from a warehousing or 3PL partner, it may make sense to have a conversation with them to see if we can add a field that would allow them to include the tracking number or any other required fields that they may be able to provide that your end customer is going to be looking for in that document. So great question. And David, if it makes sense to dive into this in a little bit more detail, again, we recommend you just reach out to your Cleo representative, and we'd be happy to discuss in a little bit more detail regarding your specific use case. It's a fantastic question. If there are any other questions, again, feel free to throw them in the Q&A section, excuse me. And if there's anything else that doesn't make sense to add to the Q&A, of course, again, reach out to the Cleo representative that you work with. I know that we'd be more than happy to clear some time to have a conversation or answer any of your specific questions, just to give you some clarity around how existing customers leverage our 3PL module or ASN automation and how that might relate to your specific processes. Some other things that commonly come up just around our 3PL module. So if your 3PL partner is not currently within our trading partner network, there is no issue at all. We understand that you may choose more of a local warehousing partner for the 3PL operation. So again, if they're not within our network, that is no issue for us. As long as they're able to support EDI, we just would want to reach out to that organization, understand what those EDI specs are, and then we can onboard them like any other customer or trading partner for the 945 and 940 transmissions. The last thing that I want to cover, just when we have a minute left, is a look forward to our next session. So that will be on August 18th at the same time. We will be covering our ShipStation module in more detail and how that can work for the 840 receival and 856 creation. So if you are leveraging ShipStation but are not currently using it with the portal, that will be a very valuable session to learn more about how we can send 850s or existing purchase orders to ShipStation to generate a corresponding 856 that can be automatically transmitted to your end customer. That will more relate to in-house fulfillment as opposed to external fulfillment via a 3PL partner or warehousing partner. But with that, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who was able to attend our session today. Again, if there was anything that we missed, please feel free to reach out to a representative. We want to make sure that you guys are in full understanding of the portal's capabilities. But thank you again so much for taking some time out of your day to join us, and we look forward to seeing you in August. Thanks.
Thank you.